Hello and welcome to Interactive Distractions, episode number 450.
Yay!
That's a lot. It hasn't been that many since we came back, but it's been that many since we started, and that's what's important. My name is Chris Fricchio, and I am here with Travis Baum.
Oh, hello.
Jason A. Stryker.
Oh, hello.
And Jeff Torney.
What up?
And we're going to be talking about some game awards today, but before we jump into that, we got some games. But real quick, I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I'm actually heading to Disney tomorrow, guys.
What? You didn't invite me this time?
No, I did invite you. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
But we're pulling the kids out of school to go because going during school break is awful.
Yep.
So next week we're going to Disney. The week after that is when their school break starts. So they're actually getting a 3-week break, and they're pretty happy about that.
Of course they are. Yes.
We're going to 3 parks. We're going to do Hollywood Studios, we're going to do Magic Kingdom, and we're going to do Epcot. Because Epcot at Christmas is like Santa's from around the world and like all kinds of neat stuff. So,
and Epcot is also Disneyland for adults. So it is
really
it's my favorite park in all of Disney. Like it's
my favorite time to go to Epcot, though. My favorite time to go to Epcot is when they're doing the beer and wine festival, because then
it's great. It is fun.
Like
I have been there.
The World Showcase is great. The World Showcase is great during that time.
I have been there for that, but you don't even need it because there's plenty of alcohol from around the world all over there. This originally, so like, well, we have done the entire track, like one drink from the entire, like from every like country in the around the world section, and it is nasty. And I have that tiny frame, so we're at the end, we're at Japan, we're at hibachi, and my head's like laying on the table next to like the hot grill, and I'm just like,
Dude, the hibachi cook starts spinning the egg, and he tosses up in the air, and it lands on Travis's head.
He's just landing shrimp on my forehead, like with precision. I'm happy for you, man. I mean, obviously I'm a huge Disney fanatic. We go all the time, so I'm always happy when people go.
Yeah, you've got it local,
enjoy the magic. Yeah.
But
so good, man.
We go every other year, but I think that's going to stop, man, because it's just too expensive. It's too expensive.
Yeah. It's they're pricing a lot of people out. It's the haves definitely get to enjoy Disney more than the have-nots, unfortunately. But it is, like, even for pass holders, it's starting to get to the point.
How much is a pass? How much is a pass?
So the pass that we pay for, we're bougie, so we get the top of the line, creme de la creme. We want parking. We want all the other bells and whistles. So we get the top tier pass. That is. It's like $2,000 a month, $2,000 a year.
Oh God, I thought you were going to say month.
Jesus. Yeah, I thought you were going to say a
like
month.
$2,000 a year. It was like $1,899, $2,000 a month, something like that. And then you can just make monthly payments. And even if like you go, and they have some pretty lenient things in there. Like if you go in for a day and you're like, hey, I bought a ticket for $250, and you enjoyed it so much, you're like, I want to come more. You can actually take that ticket that you purchase that day and roll it into your
cool.
So they at least let you do stuff like that. So it's one of the few times where Disney is kind to the consumer in regards to like giving them any sort of deal. But
2000's a lot, but when you think about it, like 2000, if we did this trip, so if we were going to do all 4 of us, it would be 8,000.
Mm-hmm.
But if we essentially did, God, that would still be a lot, because it's costing about 2,000 for us to go for 3 days,
right?
You wouldn't get a pass if you had to fly every time or drive,
right? No, the passes are for local, right? So, but if you're paying 2,000, what I'm getting at is a local price. You're probably, what's your local price for a ticket? Like 120 or something like that
for a single park, no park hopping. Yeah,
single park 120. For me, it's 150. It was $150 a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
So that times 4 times 3. There you go. And
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You got to bring me next time because I can get that fast pass. You know why? Because I'm diabetic.
You got that superpower. Yeah.
Actually, Jason, with my son's autism and my daughter's epilepsy, we can get it for both of them too. So.
Do it. It's great.
We do. We absolutely do. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But yeah,
we could actually do it too with Melissa's like fibromyalgia and issues. Well, we actually have a shot. I don't think we have like a strong shot because apparently Disney's review process for that is actually pretty strict. So it's hit or miss, but we actually may have the ability to get that too. But it's like, I don't know. We go enough. Like, we don't need it. If we miss a ride on a certain day, it's like, well, whatever, we'll be back in a month.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. My big thing is I want to make sure that I get a chance to check out Tron and Rise of the Resistance.
Tron. So you've been to Disney since Rise has existed. So you have not been on Rise of the Resistance.
Well, I went to Disney in 2021, and it was the year that Rise came out. And
it was a madhouse.
It was also, and they were also doing reduced occupancy, so we had to make reservations for each park.
Right,
a month in advance. We could not get into Hollywood Studios, so we didn't even get to go.
Oh, that sucks. Chris, it's gonna blow your mind. It's for people who don't know, Rise of the Resistance is a Disney it's a Disney ride, a Disney attraction. It's what's called a dark ride, and the dark rides are the ones that are literally the rides that like you're in a ride machine and the lights are off, and
I can't
you have
do those. My eyesight's gotten so bad that I cannot see anything. We went to a Small World actually, and I couldn't fucking see anything. Small World? I was completely blind. Completely blind. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Small World is the thing we do at the end of the day when there's nothing else to do, and that line is just empty.
Small World,
nobody goes on it anymore.
Especially in California, it gets. So that's I was just about to touch on that. Yeah. I was just touching on that. Like, you have those 100-degree days here in California. Like, you have Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's a Small World. Those are your AC rides right there, man.
Yeah, but Pirates at Disney World is always like long line. There's always a long line
it's not
Disney
too bad.
World.
It's not too bad at land. Yeah,
but freaking Small World, it's always empty.
Yeah, but anyway, it's like I was saying though, it's a dark ride, and it's one of the most advanced, if not the most advanced, that I've seen in the country at least. And folks, if you haven't been on it, next time you go to one of these parks, definitely do it. It's the top of the mountain. It's the GOAT. And Chris, even if you can go wait an hour line. And do it if you have the patience for that. But if you don't, since you have kids,
from what I understand, is part of the experience.
It kind of is. It's well themed.
Yeah,
it's really well themed. But even if you get a fast pass for it, like, you're still going to walk through that same queue. Like, you're still going to experience.
There's no fast pass. Yeah, there's no fast pass. It's morning reservation only at Disney World,
and you have to pay for it. Right? It's the $20 direct fast pass. Okay, so see, in California, they charge us for that. Like, if you want fast pass for this ride, they're going to charge you $20 on top of everything else that you paid for. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's a la carte fast pass pricing now. It's
they have like Mickey Mouse's Christmas party after hours at Magic Kingdom. It's like you pay $150 to go in, and then it's another $100 to stay around for the party. It's like
Jesus.
Yeah.
But Mickey After Dark sounds pretty hot.
I love,
it's mostly Minnie After Dark.
Oh, nice.
I want to see what Daisy can do. She shake them feathers and I'm done. So, anyway,
moving on.
Do we have anything else to talk about, guys? Because I'm ready to get in some games.
Yeah, let's. I'm good. Anybody else got anything?
I have no brand new hobbies that I've never experienced before, but I did pick up some
trying
new vinyl,
to quit.
But
I'm trying to quit nicotine, and I'm angry at everything. So I need you guys to agree with everything I say just for today. Thanks.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
I finished my Optimus Prime. I should have brought it. I didn't even think of bringing it.
Nice.
On the camera.
That's cool.
I'm afraid to hold the damn thing, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's.
You have to be so careful.
Transformed it a few times, and I'm like, fuck. And I want to leave it in the truck position just because it's the most stable that way. But I'm like, that doesn't look cool.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I did. I finished that today.
Good stuff. That's a good set. Yeah, you still have the tall neck though too, right?
Yep, I'm gonna work on that probably over Christmas break.
Nice. Cool. Good stuff. Cool. All right, well, let's talk games.
Yeah, sure.
First. Chris, you want to talk Sea of Stars?
I beat that game.
I beat that game too.
I beat that game twice.
I think I'm near the end, but I'll ask you guys a question after you guys talk about it.
I'm not that far in. Sure. Oh, damn it!
I thoroughly enjoyed this game.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, we're talking game of the Game Awards, and it won Best Independent Game.
Yeah,
and it definitely deserves it in my opinion. It was was a fun ride from the front to the from beginning to end. And after you beat it, you can go back and like clean up side quests and beat it again, and you get a different ending, and it's just really satisfying.
Okay, that's where my question is, so I might as well ask it now. So,
okay,
I just beat the Dweller of Dread, I think it was.
Okay,
so I can now fly. So I got the whatever, and it said, "Hey, you can go do the final confrontation." Do I want to do all the side shit now, or do I want to? Go to do that first and then do the side stuff.
I feel like there's. Can you do all the side stuff before you beat it?
Yes.
Okay.
There's yeah. So you really can. Yeah. So I mean, you can totally. It's up to you, Jeff. If you want to beat it and then like go through all the side stuff, it works.
It was mainly can I do it now? Because I'm afraid that if I do the final battle, the quote unquote final battle, I'm just going to be like, and I'm not going to do the other
There
stuff.
is zero missable in this game.
Okay.
Zero. I am very confident to say that. So if you want to beat it now and then get this ending and then jump into the new one later, that's fine. I kind of like beating it and then jumping right back and like beating it again, essentially, and kind of seeing the differences. But
yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. I had everything.
And I will say this, like even without doing all the side quests, the ending is still pretty satisfying. Like I enjoyed the first ending. I just enjoyed the second ending, but more. So.
Yeah, the second ending's way better. It does. They rush. It's like they purposefully rush the first ending. It's like it has kind of everything you need for a video game ending, but it's like, okay, how can we do this in about 3 minutes, guys? And it flies and it's done. And it's like, well, it kind of is not. Everything that happened was cool, but it was so unfulfilling in the execution. But it turns out that that's by design because it's not the ending you're supposed to get. It even teases you at some point being like, is it the end? And it's like, okay, there's more to do, obviously.
Yeah. Finn, question mark? Yeah.
I love it. But once and no spoilers beyond here, obviously. But once you get to the kind of like I guess it's technically not the New Game Plus
once you
technically not because like once you're in your true ending playthrough, man, it's really great. Like everything that you love about this game is all there. There's a renewed sense of hope and adventure, and it gets you excited about jumping into the ending again, because it's like, what's gonna be different now that things have been become the way they are. Like it's just a really, really interesting way to play the game, in a fun little final nod to kind of like Chrono Trigger, because Chrono Trigger play with these storylines a lot too. So it was good to have that. And then probably like the best final frame, one of my most favorite final ending frames, right, Chris? Like how
I agree with you. It was all wrapped up nice.
Welled up. I can't remember the last time I felt like really, really strong, like visceral emotion from a 16-bit game. But that final scene, man, I was like, oh man, it's so good. Yeah. It's so
you do a good job of getting you into the characters, like and really giving you a lot of a passion towards who they are and what they do, and I loved Sarai. Like Sarai was in my party.
So great.
All the time. If I could have her in there, I would have her in there, because I'm sorry, she's got a move that is just way too fucking good. Disorient, where it actually puts down their special moves. It's the best fucking move. And so I use that all the time. So when I'm fighting bosses, it's usually the two Solstice warriors and her, unless I have to switch out for a particular element. But like what they did with her, and like how they kind of just pulled all of her story in together and made it a part of the whole atmosphere of Sea of Stars, it was fantastic.
Yep.
And I absolutely loved the I'm trying to figure out what word I want to use for this, but there's a pretty big surprise with like after finishing the game. There's a pretty big surprise like right after you finish the game that I didn't see coming. It kind of came out of left field.
Okay.
Let's just say that there's a bit of a genre shift in there.
Oh yeah.
Super cool shit. Super cool shit, man. I was really, really happy with that. And then they integrated it again. And then they integrated it again. And I was like, oh man, this is good.
I feel like they wasted it on the first ending.
See, now you guys are confusing me again. So it's on. So I should do the first ending and then do the second. Then
do whatever the way you want.
Sorry, but you're saying I can't miss stuff. So
you can't miss anything. They just do something twice that I think they should have done once at the end. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Yeah.
All right. I think I got it. So it's.
But you're right, Chris. It's really
Chris
fun.
Also,
it's
sorry,
really fun.
I need to clear this up before we can move on. Because Chris said that, or it was interesting after you beat it the first time, how things change when you do your second time. Is it not just you just load up your save before that, or it goes back to that save?
Yeah, I can see how it sounds like I was talking about like a new game plus mode or something like that.
That's kind of what it sounded like.
Yeah,
they bring you right to the last save point right before the boss, and there's literally a teleporter like right next to him that puts you to the front of that dungeon. And so you can basically just drop in that teleporter, go back to the front of the dungeon, leave the dungeon, and transform and fly away.
Okay, so the world's not changed and anything after the first ending. Okay,
gotcha. It puts you back to right before you beat the game, and then it kind of gives you a big hint about what you need to do in order to get the
other ending or whatever.
And I saw your message, and I'm not going to actually. You know what? I'm not going to do anything with that because it's going to be hinting spoiler territory. So I'm not going to fuck with that. You'll like it, dude. I'm telling you. Definitely do those last side quests. It's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Will do.
Fantastic game. If it wasn't for Baldur's Gate, it'd be RPG of the Year.
Anybody else playing games of the video variety?
Go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say I finished Immortals of Avium. That's on sale for $10 now.
Shut up!
It dropped twice. Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
is it back on? Yeah, they dropped it down to 7, and then there was a price error, and it went back up to like 35 or something like that.
Oh, okay. I saw that somebody on my friends was playing it, and they said, it was like $8 or $10 in the store.
Yeah,
and then I was like, I just paid I have no problem. I paid $30 for 35 for it, but it's fine. But then I was like, really? Like a week later? But
I just pulled it up in Steam, and it's $30. So
okay. So pricing error. That's basically it. I finished that up and stand by what I said. Decent game for if you just want some time to kill. And that was it. And then Sea of Stars.
Just think you could have been playing Super Mario Brothers Wonder during that time.
I couldn't. I asked for it from Santa, so I gotta wait a little bit for that.
All right. That's fair.
Santa, get your ass in gear.
He doesn't come early here.
That game is so good. All right.
Well, you're talking about time wasters. I have an ultimate time waster. I needed a palate cleanser for sure, and then I noticed that Far Cry 6, which I haven't played yet, and is on PlayStation Plus. One of the premium games on there. Just went ahead and jumped into that, and they have not done much to change Far Cry in the last few iterations, aside from just like location. I kind of don't need them to right now. I'm going to be just upfront and honest with you. Like I love what they do in all of these games. They don't do anything different. They don't do that much new. They'll introduce a couple of little funny novelty things here and there. But
you know what you're getting into when you.
I know what I'm getting into. Mm-hmm. That game loop is good for me. Just like that, I have a full map of all these strongholds, and I'm just going to go stronghold and stronghold to stronghold and finish them all today. Like I love that kind of gameplay. It's so good for my ADD. And I am just maybe 3-4 hours into it, and I'm playing with a huge smile on my face. I think it's one of my least favorite settings, for sure. I think it's one of my least favorite settings so far, but I haven't really ventured that far out, so I haven't seen too much. But just off the cuff, I like other Far Cry islands a lot better so far. But Chris, you played it too, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm not a big fan of first-person shooters without some sort of hook.
Sure.
But Far Cry did it for me, man. I don't know why. It was just a lot of fun to play. I really dug the main character and like who she was, and like her interactions with the rest of the NPCs, and I like that like the way they kind of laid out that story about what was going on in the island and kind of like the warlord and stuff like that. I really enjoyed all that. And like you said, Travis, like it's just fun to go and take out the like the checkpoints, like the everything, like all the it's like you put that on the map and it just I want to change the color of that. That's I want that to be my color. It's like I want that to be my color. Let's
it's a really good
lot
loop.
Of fun.
It's empty calories. It's just
did
yummy.
You play 5 and 4?
Calories. I did, yes.
Chris?
Chris.
Yeah, I know you did.
I played. The last one I played was 3, and I didn't finish it.
Oh yeah, then that's a huge.
So it's been
okay.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. So
Chris, 5 is rad. Like I like 5.
5 is my favorite.
5 is good.
I think Jeff and I were playing 5 at the same exact time, and
I think we
were both raving about it. And that game, it's got the best Far Cry villain. It's got a really cool the fact that it's
really
like in America
better than what's his name? I can't remember his name. What's his name?
Boss.
Yeah, but what's the actor's name? Yeah,
Boss is
Giancarlo.
Are you talking about Giancarlo or
are you talking about Giancarlo Esposito
or Boss from Far Cry 3?
No, the one from 6.
Vincenzo Esposito what's his name? Sorry, what did you say his first name was? I just finished Better Call Saul. Yeah, it's Giancarlo. Yeah,
Giancarlo. Yeah, and yeah, I mean he's fine. He's Giancarlo. He's playing the same villain he always plays in every movie. Kind of like he's he's not doing anything new here. I think they captured him really well.
He's not cool that he's in it.
It's cool that he's in it, but I don't know. I just like the pastor character from Far Cry 5. He's so good.
Tell me what you think the further you get into this game, because I actually like I like a lot what they did with the villain. And I'm interested. Yeah. I mean, I already dislike him. Like he's already done enough in the first hour of the game. That's how you know they're doing pretty good, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's good. I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy playing through this game. But I'm pretty sure I'll play other things on top of it while I'm messing around with this. I don't even know if I'll finish it. It's just good calories.
I just realized Voss and he are both in Better Call Saul.
Oh yeah,
both those actors. Yeah.
That's right.
That's cool.
Television.
Nacho. Yep. Actors. They're in places. They're in things.
They do stuff.
I
don't have a ton. Hold on 1 second. I don't have a ton to add, but I did play a little bit more of Mario RPG.
Okay.
So I think I'm doing that in small chunks. Like I get a start and then I stop, and then I'll go back and I'll get a start and I'll stop.
Did you find Peach's question mark?
Peaches. So I just got Bowser in my party. That's how far I'm at.
Like the original Super Nintendo game, if you go into Peach's chambers, like on the wall, there's something that you can interact with, and it says you found Peach's XXX. But in this one, yeah.
Okay, then.
And then in this one, they just make it question marks or something like that.
So
I wonder what you found.
You found her XXX. What is XXX?
Yeah.
Like understand in concept what XXX is.
Right.
Hello. But I don't you found her XX. What is XXX in the noun? All right. Interactive distractions. Contest of the month. Right in. You found Peach's XXX. Solve for XXX.
XXX equals.
There it is.
Equals what?
And I started playing Starfield too, but I'm not going to talk about that too much. I'm only about 2 hours in. Really not enough to make any.
Yeah, you barely. Are you out of the first area? I think you're probably in the first area.
I think I'm just now out of the first area. I gotta say, I am not a fan of Bethesda's character models in these.
Oh, they're not
so bad. It's so bad.
They're not good. I don't know why. It's like, I don't know. They need to clean that shit up. But
they need a new fucking engine is what they need.
But yeah, that's it. So Jason, as you were saying.
Oh, the Game Awards.
The Game Awards.
Yes.
Those things happened.
Where lots of actors are. And they get to take their time.
Way too many, probably.
And game developers don't. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see somebody broke down out of the 4 hours or whatever that show was, 3 hours, 4 hours, only 12 minutes were on screen time for awards, and 16 if you include the awards where they just kind of read off. 16 minutes out of 4 hours.
Yeah, that makes
or 3 hours.
Yeah, it's a 4-hour commercial for new games. So that's what it is.
Absolutely.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
and we try our damnedest to get caught up in it just for the sake of, I don't know, just having fun with it. But at the same time, it really leaves a bad taste in my mouth that all the presenters and all the celebrities got way more time. And as soon as the developers got up there and they started saying something, they were being played off right away. It was just I'm like, are we there to celebrate games and developers? I know.
I started watching it, so I didn't log in and start watching it until probably about 8:30, almost 9 o'clock. And after 30-40 minutes, I'm like, is this over yet? I just want this kind of, I'm glad they showed all the previews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But some of the other stuff they were doing, I'm just like, just end this shit. Come on. I don't need this. Give me the premieres. Give me the premieres.
Sure.
Give me the awards and let the devs talk. And then that's all I really care about. Don't spend money on getting celebrities up there to do anything.
Seriously.
Why?
Yeah.
I feel like they've also they started off really focusing on the music too. And I feel like they barely focus on the music now.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get one performance. They'll play off.
I think there was 2 or 3 this time.
That old dude in the plain white t-shirt playing drums. He was pretty badass though.
Yeah, he was rock. And the guy with that big oboe, the guy with that big standing
flute guy,
he was just jamming. Boy, he was just going.
Yeah.
I loved him.
That Alan Wake number was awesome.
Yep.
It was great.
I had no idea what they were referencing, but I had a great time watching that.
I have no idea what that was.
That's the thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
If you played the game, it's brilliant. It's such a brilliant performance. And if you have not, you're like, what?
It's honestly not even that early or that late in the game if you decide to do Alan Wake segments at the beginning first. But it's great. It's such a good, they nailed it. And I saw some people oh, you just spoiled it for a bunch of people. I don't think that spoils the experience really at all. It's out of context, definitely not. I don't think.
It made me look even more forward to it. It already was at the top of my list to play before the end of the year. So
if you said that performance was cool because it was batshit insane and you haven't played Alan Wake before, you were going to love Alan Wake because the tone of the craziness, the crazy attitude of that stage play is exactly what is going on in that game at all times. And it is so fun, man.
Sign
it's
me
so
up.
fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
They Keel, he needs to get a better balance, and I get that he needs to bring in the money, the advertising bucks, and for advertising you need to have people tuning in, and most people do tune in for the not the award stuff, for the reveals, sadly. And eventually devs are going to stop going. I think they're going to just stop. People, devs came from around the world to get brushed off the stage or not even be able to collect their rewards. There's so many
Valerian guys
devs
suited
making
up in full
comments.
armor, man.
I know, seriously. They're treated no better than spectators. The actors that have nothing to do with the games get more screen time and presence than they do.
And they got about $50K just to be there. So
yeah, it's insane. They're not paying for all those developers to make the trip. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was glaring this year, right? I'm sure it's been the case the last few years at least, but it was super, super glaring how bad it was this year. I noticed it last night when watching it, and I was not even surprised that there was a dust up online because of it. And it's rightfully
I think
so.
It's the loudest it's been. That's why. I think a lot of devs are finally getting kind of sick of it, and they're like, this is not worth it.
Because I'll be honest with you, I think we're getting close. We're so close. This award show is almost there. It is close to being exactly what
it doesn't need to be 4 hours long. I'll tell you that now.
I don't know.
I don't. If you have to let Kojima awards talk, then no.
I don't know. I enjoy it. I'm fine with the length. It's fine. But I forgot that penis joke made me lose my train of thought. Joke? Good job. Oh.
Was there a penis joke?
No, I don't know.
Anyway, but yeah, it's
that's way too lowbrow for our show. What are you talking about?
It's pretty dirty, and I think that Keighley has shown the ability in the past to listen to criticism and change things about his productions. So hopefully this is something that he can find a better balance and pay more respect to these devs. Because yeah, you're right. It was just very, very glaring that was going on.
How do you feel about splitting up the show? Well, into like 2 parts, like playing back to back, but like the first like hour and a half, maybe 2 hours is devoted to the awards. And the presenters can talk as long as they want. The recipients can talk as long as they want. But then that other 2 hours is just banger after banger, world premiere. Yeah.
Like winter E3, winter games showcase.
I just feel like the awards portion of it will get like no play.
No one will watch it. Yeah. It'll just be like the DICE awards and everything. And I think that's, because then the devs are like, I think they do want to go to these because they get eyes on them. Because there was like, at the very beginning of the award, there was like almost 400,000 people watching that stream at like the pre-awards thing. Like that's a lot of fucking people.
That was a lot
to be watching on YouTube, and you split it up. I think it's on paper. It's a great idea. I just only think people like us would probably watch it, like the hardcore people. Like it's not going to get those Keighley people that are like, oh yeah, it's like E3 again.
Yeah, I wonder.
They're probably like, fuck all these awards. Oh, it's so great. They hardly had awards on the show.
Yep.
Like those people are probably like, it was the best one yet. But yeah, it's
like, I think the award show was good. I mean,
I think it was good. I thought it was entertaining.
It's all relative, really right? Bored. I mean, what did we used to have? We used to have the Spike Awards. So like,
do you guys remember?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the Game Pro one with when what's his face hosted it?
Game Pro.
Oh, Top Gun guy.
Tom Cruise?
No.
Val Kilmer?
Holy shit. Not Top Gun, sorry.
I don't
Naked
know
Gun.
Goose's name.
Naked Gun.
Charlie Sheen?
O.J. Simpson.
No, the main guy. Fuck.
Leslie
Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen.
He was the host, and it was the year that Mortal Kombat 2 came out, and it was such a bad show that Mortal Kombat 1 was nominated for Game of the Year, even though 2 has been out for like a year. And it was so bad.
Yeah, I think
it was the first one that was ever broadcast on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Keighley was actually part of it. He was in the credits, I think.
Was he? I wouldn't be surprised.
He was best boy.
Yep.
He was best boy. Yeah. It was awful. Oh shit. Anyway.
But as shitty and as like, a farce as the award show goes, I actually did have a good time with this is probably the best time that I've had with like the announcements. I think there was very little played onto the free to play games, the mobile games and shovelware shit. It was a good spread. It was a good spread. I thought it was a good spread.
And that's the thing. I don't mind the premieres. I just feel like there was more other spectacle that didn't need to be there. Like I like the premieres. I want that to be there. That's the draw. But I feel like there was other spectacle that could have been removed. Just you don't
need
trim the fat.
You don't need 35 seconds of the guy in the power armor from Fallout to walk from the back of the stage to the front of the stage to backstage again because of the fact that he takes so long.
Can't fucking see and walk. Yeah.
So I mean, I really, I don't know. Like, there are criticisms, but I always remember where we came from, and I am pretty happy with where the award show is. It can always be improved and always get better. I like where we're at, and I hope Keighley listens to the criticism and makes positive change. And I'm with you guys. Like I think, or Jason specifically, like I had a lot more fun with the announcements this year, but I had way more fun with the awards this year, guys, because we had a little bit of a contest that we ran last episode, and we have our points results. And
I didn't even realize we were calling it a contest.
I don't know about you, Jason.
Contest of wit, of skill,
and of lucky guesses to a bunch of shit that didn't matter.
Oh, Jason, I don't know about you, but I feel equally proficient in my gaming knowledge.
Yeah, I feel like we are on par. Like the bar has been set, and it was by both of us.
I disagree.
It was, yeah. And I hereby am going to make Alan Wake 2 my game of the year this year because that was the game at the very end for best game direction that put me over the hump and got me tied with Jason. So now Jason's never going to play Alan Wake. He's pissed.
God damn it. Fucking
forever grudged.
I will say that a majority of my points, a good 3-4 of my points came
from
the
esports points.
Esports.
Okay, so do we want to discuss? Go ahead. do we want to go ahead and discuss abolishing those esports points? Because I'm with you. I'm actually starting to feel it's kind of unfair.
Absolutely not. No, those were educated
I did
guesses.
A lot of research. I just didn't get good ones. I read those names and nominations while we were doing this, and I made my bed.
Was going to take
Hold on.
She's a VTuber.
Let's be honest here, because in reality, we all just made sure that we picked someone different. Like, I certainly didn't do any fucking research. I was fucking laughing my ass off trying to pronounce that dude's name. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe if you put a little more research into it next time, you'll be up there with
I'm
Travis.
not going to do that, Jason. I'm not going to do that.
Chris, we need you to...
I really could give less fucks. Like, it's just...
I agree. We need Chris to show up on his gaming knowledge. We need to give him 4 hours with Iron Mouse streams.
Yep. She's adorable.
And you're gonna love it, Chris. It's gonna be super not creepy.
I am super gonna turn that off. Okay.
So overall results. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Jason and I tied, and Jeff got third, and Chris, who's acting all nonchalant, like he didn't really try. Oh, it's not a big deal. Pulling up the rear.
Oh, so far
pulling up the caboose.
So the person who played the least games this year got last place in guessing the awards. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Respect your body. Pick a game up, son.
I'll do what I can to find more time in my day, Travis.
Okay.
Well, it's a good thing Chris isn't bitter about it. So do you want to get on with it?
Chris, are you the one giving up nicotine? You sound a little cranky.
I mean, I guess I could just stop going to work and play games all day, and then I might...
Oh my God.
That was low.
Well, then you know what, Chris?
That was low.
God.
Well,
then you might not have come in last.
Shit, I'm going to hit below the belt. You know, when it's a street fight, you do whatever you need to do.
What is this? Nick Cannon's wild and out? Like, wow.
Well, Chris going to have like 13 kids with...
wow, the deep burn. Oh,
Nick Cannon's got a lot of kids.
He does have a lot of kids. Yeah, it's like an irresponsible amount of kids.
Yes. All right. So that being said, we can touch on some other stuff later. But there was some. We love the game reveals.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of those. So we can't go through every single thing that was revealed because that could take a while. It might take longer than the award show. So we just picked some that we want to talk about. So let's do that. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
We'll start. Sure, go for it.
The first one that stood out to me was the first Berserker, Kazan or something like that.
I liked that a lot.
It's a DNF offshoot, dungeon fighter. And the Berserker is like a class in that game. So this is like a single player and a Souls-like looking character action game. It's a little more over the top than your typical Souls, but there's definitely some elements of the dodging and parrying and shit like that. Because it's a third person like action game where you kind of keep your focus, your cursor directly on the opponent and then just dodge back and forth. Anyway, but it's got that over the top stuff where he's like grabbing him by the ankle and smashing him into the ground and flipping him over and air juggles and shit. So yeah, it caught my eye. Fun. It's a good look and right up my alley. Bring it on.
When they said the name, I knew right away. I was like, this is going to be a Jason jam, but not because I thought it was something totally different. I thought it was based on the sort of the Berserk.
Yeah,
that's what I thought it was going to be based on. Then I saw it and I was like, this is not that.
Jesus Christ,
that's cool.
I was in the same boat as you, Jeff. I was in the same boat as you.
The art style is cool. It looks like cartoony with realistic. Like it looks like the characters are like kind of cel shaded, but then everything else is like kind of realistically drawn. Does look cool.
I actually did not know it was like a spinoff of Dungeon Fighter. That's really cool. I remember we played that way back. It was shit.
We played quite a bit of that.
Yeah. Then they made the fighting game, Atlas. So they've been branching out with this IP, which is cool because they've got cool character designs in there.
Travis.
Let's see. So they didn't show very much gameplay, but
that's a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, that's true. But I've wanted this in concept for a long time. Ever since I was a little wee boy, I wanted a first-person Jurassic Park game, like a first-person, like really good survival horror.
Those first-person parts in Super Nintendo one, you didn't like that? That didn't do it for you?
That game was actually legitimately spooky when you're in those first person areas. But no, that game was bad. It was very, very bad. Looked pretty for the time, for sure. Jurassic Park Survival. This is something that I think behind the scenes has been like, there's been concern that it was delayed, but apparently it wasn't. But the few little glimpses of like first person gameplay action that we saw kind of gives me a taste of what I have always wanted. Like dinosaurs are one of my favorite things growing up as a kid. They can't make enough movies or video games about dinosaurs, and this right here is just something I've always asked for since I was like 11, 12. So super hyped about Jurassic Park Survival. I hope it's good. It does
look cool.
I don't remember who the developer is of that.
Is that the one Saber is doing part of doing? I can't remember. I remember seeing Saber Interactive on one of those trailers. I was like, oh, I did not know that.
So let's see. We're gonna click over here on the old
on the old
Wikipedia, the old Wikipedias and programmers, artists, developers. Savage Entertainment.
Okay, so that's
I recognize that logo. They're a LA-based developer. They have developed James Bond 007 Agent Under Fire, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. I'm just going through a few. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 on the PSP. You gotta watch out for those parentheses. They'll get you. Yeah, they've made a bunch of really, really small stuff. Like Jurassic Park Survival is still listed under the Wikipedia page as still listed as a canceled game. Actually, you know what?
Yeah,
that may be.
It might not even be them anymore.
This may be a premature excitement or hype post about Jurassic Park Survival. Is so far is pointing to it being mediocre at best. So hopefully, hey, look, at concept, I love it. Huge surprise for me, but I don't like the pedigree.
Yeah. A little worried about that.
Don't like the pedigree. A
little worried.
Yeah. All right. Who's up next?
Chris.
I am going to start with, and I am forgetting the name right now, but the Hello Games new reveal.
Something no fire.
Light no fire.
Here it is. Light no fire.
Yeah,
so
no fire.
And this goes way back for me, because when we were first talking about No Man's Sky, like my big reasoning for being so interested in what No Man's Sky was the advancement of the technology and procedural generated stuff and what it could mean. And there was, this is obviously, a decade ago when we were talking about this or whatever. But we were having a conversation and I was like, imagine playing Skyrim where the entire world is procedurally generated. And that's basically what they're looking at and what they're trying to offer here. Or at least that's what it sounds like. So I am tuned in on this game. I am really interested in what they're going to do with it. Dude got on a fucking dragon and I was like, I'm sold. Let's go.
It does look cool.
It looks really, really cool. And, the idea, what I want to know is it a situation where, they said that it was going to be a procedurally generated world. Does that mean that, like, if I'm playing and Jason's playing, that both of our worlds are completely different? Because that would be so fucking cool to me.
You probably have a single player world and a shared server world. You probably have the option.
Because it is co-op, right? You can play with other people.
You can play co-op.
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, so it couldn't be totally different because that would be weird.
Right.
Well, I would never. I couldn't imagine.
Valheim, I don't know if you guys played that at all, but I think that was procedurally generated, and it was like a shared world. But people that didn't like own the world could still like log in when other people weren't there, like a Minecraft server type situation. So it might be something like that.
Yeah, Valheim was one of those. It was a survival game, right? Where you were
Vikings chopping down trees and shit.
And there definitely are aspects. There definitely are aspects of that in Light No Fire. I mean, we saw people building like stone houses and everything. So
I do need that to be streamlined. Like, it needs to be super streamlined for me to be into it. Because
I agree.
it's hard for me to get into survival games for that. Yeah.
But Hello Games is going to develop this game, I would assume, with consoles in mind. So I would say that hope is well founded. I think you would. It's a strong.
Yeah,
bet.
I think it's strong. Every
thing
console
here,
and PC.
Yeah.
The good thing here is that first I want to say that I hope that there's not going to be any bullshit pressure from a big company like Sony trying to get them to push this game out the door, because that's what that kind of killed No Man's Sky in the beginning.
I wonder if it's got a publisher or if they're doing it themselves.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if I'm too worried about that. I'm more or less I want to be confident that they've learned lots of really, really strong lessons through the life cycle of No Man's Sky, and I'm excited.
Of that game. 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited to see those lessons translated to a new IP from them. So
I got a comment in the awards.
Yeah,
really funny that they gave fucking Cyberpunk 2077 ongoing game, and right after that they had a montage of 10 years of updates from No Man's Sky. That was actually nominated.
How is Cyberpunk an ongoing game?
It's not. That's another thing that they just
shit. Oh my god! And actually, we said the same thing last week as we were talking about the nominations and like what we thought that it would get it. And that was we were all just like laughing off Cyberpunk.
My pick was
why is that even there?
Yeah.
I don't remember what my pick was,
but
it wasn't Cyberpunk. I can tell you that.
No.
But yeah, the other thing I was going to say is that the other good thing about Light No Fire is that it's been 5 years in production before they even talked about it.
That's a good point.
So I'm hoping that they're within a year or so of some sort of early access,
deep dive or something.
Yeah. So my only question is like, how does the world become procedurally generated? Like when they generate the Earth, like they showcase like kind of like barren flora fauna stuff, something very similar to No Man's Sky, and then they showcase things like dragons and skeletons and undead creatures, more fantasy settings, and they showed kind of different. Right. They showed like different genres of things or different like themes. And are all of those intermixed into one Earth, or are you going to get a fantasy Dungeons and Dragons Earth, or you're going to get a zombie Earth, or you're going to get a completely barren, build it from scratch Earth? Like how is that going to work? That's my big question. And I think it would be very cool if all the things were like intermingled, like the world shared all of these different like worlds. That would be neat. So yeah, it was honestly, Chris already had this one picked as one of his choices, but this was my game of the show for sure. I was very impressed by this. It looked really good.
Those look cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My first one is one that I didn't know this apparently leaked, because I watched some of the like the reaction type stuff from some of the media things,
right?
And almost all of them said, "Oh yeah, this leaked earlier or like a day before," and I'm like, I did not know this, but that was Blade by Arcane.
Oh, I didn't know that. The leaked. I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either. I was like, what the fuck? That was news to it, which made it better because I did not see that coming. I thought it was going to be Dishonored 3. The second they said from the creators of Dishonored and Deathloop, I figured it was one of those again.
Yep.
But yeah, that's cool. Whenever that comes out in like 2027, 28, because apparently it's not far into development by any means.
I'm excited potential behind that game.
Yeah.
I'm excited for some third-person Arcane. I want to see what they can do.
Yeah, I hope so.
I want to see what they can do.
They got to make up for Redfall, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if there's another Arcane game in the works as well that's coming, because they couldn't have been sitting on their thumbs since after Deathloop, right? Until it's either that or it has been in development longer than they said. But I thought it was cool. I like the second they showed him with the fangs, and I'm like, wait, is this fucking Blade? I'm like, oh, that's cool.
It's a great property for a video game. I'm pumped for it.
Yeah.
That first game they did was terrible in the PlayStation 2 and Xbox era. It was bad.
Yeah.
Jason, back to you, bud.
Speaking of eras, there's a new one. Sega's coming out with a whole new era.
Dreamcast 2.
Yep.
I'm so interested in this. What is this game?
Yeah. They're rebooting. It seems like a ton of different franchises that IPs that they've had, like Jet Set Radio.
Do we know that do we know what type of rebooting they're doing?
We don't know other than just like they seem like reboots to me.
Yeah, they look like reboots to me too. Yeah.
Because
go ahead.
Because they're going to operate like the games operate, but they look like they have like a completely redone fresh coat of like almost a sort of modern coat of paint on it. Like none of those games look retro at all. Like none of them, they all look good. Like it's amazing, that package.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be significantly different, I think, and especially in the case of like Streets of Rage and Golden Axe, because they're
I don't
3D.
think it's a package though, so don't.
I don't think it's a package either. No, they're all individual.
They said those 5 games and more. So they're going forward. They're calling it like a new era. So they're kind of bringing back the old rebellious feel of like the Dreamcast era, where they were like they were running shit. They had their own look and feel, and they want to bring that back. And I am
new Sega game back
all for it. Yeah, that Shinobi game looks fucking hand drawn, and
that shit looks really good.
So amazing.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm slightly concerned about Golden Axe, to be honest with you. I'm going to be
3D can go honest. Real bad in a beat 'em up.
That shit can go south quick.
Yep.
But like Crazy Taxi looked really cool.
Yeah, looked good.
Like extra effects that they were doing. With
looks like it's multiplayer.
Jet Set looks
amazing.
Awesome. Oh my god!
Yeah, Jet Set. Really good. I've been waiting for a good Jet Set since the Dreamcast game. Like I did not like Jet Set Radio Future. I was not a fan. So I'm hoping that they go back to what Jet Set was when it was on Dreamcast.
You got to get that Bomb Rush Cyberfunk or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, I do need to get that.
There's physical versions of that now, by the way.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Okay.
But yeah, Streets of Rage looks great. But Streets of Rage, they just made Streets of Rage 4.
Streets of Rage scaring me because 4 was so good, and this again is a 3D one. So I'm like, they could mess those up. But I think they presented really well, and such a good trailer, like such a good reveal. Like
it was.
They brought back the Sega. It was so good.
I love that. That's how you know they're serious.
And that their head might be in the right space because they with like Sonic Mania, they brought in a bunch of like modders,
fans,
fans to like work on that game. So hopefully that carries into other IPs and just their attitude in general. Let's hope.
Yeah, because if their fans are making it like that, are actually like in love with the IP, it's got a better chance than not to be really good.
Yep.
So if fans make it themselves, it ends up being a better product.
Quite possibly.
Like if they actually love the IP, yes, of course.
So do we need to like get 4 listeners to just do this podcast going forward?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
It would almost definitely be better. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Okay, we'll start making we'll start making a short list, and you know who you are.
Pull names from the hat.
I mean, look at Baldur's Gate. Like that, everyone who works at Larian loved that fucking franchise, and they want to bring it back. And
that's true.
Look what they did.
Yeah. You have to have the skill set. Let's make sure that's.
Oh yeah, we're not saying like fucking get Oates in here and be like, oh here, make a game.
He'll make one episode. He'll make one episode.
I almost spit my drink out. Damn it, Jeff.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Is it my turn yet?
Yeah, man.
Yes. Yeah. All right, we don't have to talk much about this. It's just flat out, I'm a fucking sucker for this. Don't Nod had its latest trailer for their next Telltale style narrative decision-based game, Lost Records, Bloom, and Rage. I will play every single one of these games that they put out, and I show no sign of stopping. I just love I love their storytelling. I love having control and agency over a story. Their last couple of releases have been top-notch. I can't recommend the latest Life is Strange. I think it's called Life is Strange True Colors. It is probably one of the most best out of all the Telltales and all this stuff. It's probably one of the most best crafted stories in that genre. It's just really well put together, realistic characters and stuff. So everything that they've learned and done so far makes me think that this that Lost Records could be really, really great. And it seems to have a little bit of a 90s theme to it. So I'm digging that. I don't recall Don't Nod really messing with that decade before. So and apparently it seems like it's going to take place like in the 90s and then like 27 years in the future. So it's going to mix in between modern and the 1990s and stuff like that. So that seems pretty cool. All for that. Again, I'll play every single one of them. So
good stuff.
Crystal.
My last two didn't really have any gameplay, but like the environment and like the worlds they were trying to portray with the intros that they were showing, with like the cinematic that they were showing, seemed interesting to me. So the first one is The Last Sentinel. This is the one where the kids were in, like scared in like a little orphanage, and then you see a mother figure basically get slammed into a wall, and it turns out to be a robot, which isn't really it wasn't a surprise, right? I don't think that was. But what was surprising to me is that the robot picked its head up and talked to the child again, and like half of its face was gone, and the child was like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." I'm like, "Oh, that's normal then. Okay, cool." And then that that woman comes in and just fucking tears everything up, and I'm like, "All right, this." If I don't know if they're trying to if they're trying to make something that's this fluidic, if the gameplay has this much fluid to it and like versatility in the combat, obviously that would be very difficult to do, but I'm interested in what they're trying to do.
For sure.
I'd like to see where that goes.
Nice.
Jeffrey.
Another one of mine is we've already seen this before, and we were talking about the character models in Starfield. This has the exact opposite problem with that, and that's they showed Hellblade 2 actual gameplay that I think passes actual gameplay.
I seriously thought that was just full motion video.
A lot of people did. There's that one scene where you see her and the guy in the cave. I was like, that looks fucking like a movie. That doesn't look like gameplay.
So every game developer should go to them and say, "How are you doing that shit?" Because
the motion capture,
it's amazing.
Insane.
But they've always been good at that shit. That's the thing.
Oh, ever since Heavenly Sword, man. They've always
been ahead of the game on that shit. It's like, say what you will about Heavenly Sword and what the game is, but like what they did with like just like the character models and the motion capture and all of that, like just incredible.
Yeah, I agree. There are certain shots in that trailer where you're like, okay, no one's ever done it that good. Like graphically, it's just it's too good. It's too impressive. And I think that is going to be a huge pull for this game. And I have been super hyped for it and bummed out about these like subsequent delays that we've been having, or not delays, but just like the lack of like dates. And information. Yeah. And I've been super hyped until we got to this trailer. And I'm sorry, I don't want to be that guy, but when they started showcasing like the combat, I was like, oh my God, it's like they didn't even touch the combat. It looks exactly the same. And I am sorry, I hate the combat in the first game. I think it's the worst part of the game. And it looks almost exactly the same. Now, hopefully there's some tweaks and changes and they've made things infinitely better, but I'm not a huge fan of what I've seen. Yeah. So.
Yeah, if you didn't like the combat in the first one. I like the combat in the first one. There just wasn't as nuanced, that's all. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it'll be better than the first one, but it's not going to be like God of War or like Bayonetta. They're not going to be going for that type of combat. No.
Fair enough.
And like in my view, like that's like I never really put that much stock in what I felt like the combat was just a bridge to get from scene to scene, because it was more about but it shouldn't be that. It is the core, and the ambiance of it all.
No, it is the core gameplay of the game, and it is very important to the game, and it should be good. And people love this game, and there were the combat wasn't bad enough for it to be massively hit for its combat, but combat was the glaring missing piece. Like there was just something missing. It was too plain and vanilla. Now, if this game starts incorporating other things to make it more more immersive and more, a little bit more interactive, then I'll shut up.
A little more variety.
I'll say that I was wrong. I just need a little bit more from that combat. And
it needs
what
variety.
I saw, it was so similar. And I was like, a little bit worried about that. But you're right. One of the best looking games, if not the best looking game of the entire show, for sure.
Oh, fuck.
Sometime
guys.
2024.
I just went and looked up Hellblade on Steam. And
the first one?
It's the first one. Because I never finished the first one. I got about halfway through, and I kind of I know
short too, isn't it?
It is short.
Yeah,
really short.
And I don't know what it was, but I just ended up not finishing it. It is currently on sale for less than $5.
There you go.
First of all,
well, it is on Game Pass, and you have that now.
Is it on Game Pass?
Yeah, and it was enhanced. Well, you don't have you have PC, so I'm sure it's going to have those enhancements too. They gave it like a next gen update a couple of years ago.
Nice. Well, there's a VR edition.
What?
Oh shit! I didn't even know that existed.
Hellblade,
dude, don't do that. It'll mess with your head.
That's what I'm saying. Like, fuck, dude, I don't know if I could handle that. Like, just playing that game with headphones on is fucking creepy as hell. Like doing that with VR, like I can't even imagine.
Chris is going to be playing. Chris is going to
want to.
For $5, dude, you got to try it out.
Oh, dude, and that's the thing.
If it comes with the VR version.
Mode. The VR version is $450. It's $450. I'm not going to be able to play these until I get home, but
I know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
All right,
do it. And now we also need
the sale end.
We also need to stream. We also need you to stream playing, please.
Yeah,
we need to stream you playing this in VR and screaming like a little girl. But it looks like the sale ends in 3 days on December 11th. So I'll certainly try and pick this up before we leave. It'll be waiting for me when I get home.
So
man. Hellblade in VR. I don't even know. Sorry.
My last one wasn't necessarily like I knew this was coming. I didn't know that it would be the anchor of
the whole show,
the Game Awards, and that's Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter 6, essentially, like a brand new Monster Hunter. It's not World. Mm-hmm. It's not Rise. It's not Ultimate. It's not G rank yet. It's a brand new Monster Hunter, and it looks so good.
And it's on PS5, and is it going to be on? Is it coming on?
Yeah, PS5, Xbox, and Steam.
Nice.
They're all advertised, so hopefully they're all lockstep. Hopefully they're all released at the same time. Crossplay is the biggest on my list.
For sure.
That's my big wish.
For sure.
But I want them to, they've learned lessons since, releasing World and how the multiplayer works and shit like that. And some of that got worked out in Rise, but still not quite there, but I think they're going to get there. Anyway, I hope they take these lessons to heart and bring them into this new Monster Hunter. Capcom was willing to shell out the big bucks for the main stage, during the Super Bowl ad segment.
They must like what they see.
Yeah. So,
release in 2025.
Yeah. 2025 is the ways
2025 is looking real good already, boys. Like GTA and a Monster Hunter 6, like a proper.
This will be day one for me, man. I had so much fun with Monster Hunter World, and completely unexpected for me.
Me too.
I had never really been into a Monster Hunter game.
Me too.
Like I've tried several of them. Mm-hmm. I picked up the first one. I picked up like 2 other ones, but like Monster Hunter World, I dove in and just didn't stop. It was so good.
That was great.
It was great. Yeah,
they did a really good job of
modernizing
it, but it still was complicated to learn.
Sure. No, it was. It absolutely was. But they toned back some of the grinding. Like there was still grinding, right? But they pulled it in a little bit, and they made all of it a little bit more accessible. Like Chris, it wasn't super easy.
You were happy that you could still walk while consuming a potion.
Yes. And actually, it's not even that. It's the fact that they did away with the fucking flex you had to do at the end. I was like, stop that shit. That's dumb.
Jason had me play early on in our professional relationship. Jason was like, "Hey, you got to play this Monster Hunter. It's hot." And I think it was like a demo of the 3DS when that one was pre-release, and I remember trying it out and. I was like, Jason, I don't think anybody should be playing this game. This is the worst shit I've ever played in my entire life. But same.
I get it. Same wherever I go. God
but same thing. But same thing though. Like World comes out and it completely changed my impression of the entire series, and I'm super pumped for this. Yeah,
it's gonna be lovely.
Yeah, we'll have fun.
Nice,
good stuff.
I don't even know where we are right now.
I'll go. My last one. I was mind blown. I was mind blown over Windblown. Yeah.
Windblown.
Motion twin.
I think I showed up after this one was shown. Tell me about this one.
Yeah. So this is Motion Twin. This is the developer of Dead Cells. and they're keeping they're obviously still going to keep the Souls-like format, but it looks like there's going to be a strong focus on this being more of a top-down isometric action game, and also there seems to be a lot of co-op as well. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. I want to hear so much more about the systems and like how power-ups work and how the world works. Is it procedurally generated? Graphically, it looks like it is something that could be procedurally generated, and that's kind of, well, not really kind of their thing, but we'll see how it goes. Like it's most of
the trailer was animation. They showed very little gameplay, unfortunately, but there's like a lot of emphasis on dashing and movement.
Like long distance dashing too, to like get through the maps fast. And I noticed that. I mean, the Motion Twin's given us no reason to doubt them. Their first release was pretty fire. So Windblown's going to be a hot one, day one for me, and
same.
Can't wait to see more.
Good stuff.
Yes.
My last one is another one that they didn't really show a lot of, but it just looked like the video they showed just looked really cool in the environment and the kind of the setting, and that was The First Descendant. And I got quite a bit of Zone of Enders vibes from watching like some of what they were showing off there.
Okay, I know what game you're talking about. Yeah.
So it looked very futuristic, and I'm looking forward to see at least what they come with that.
I was watching that trailer getting fucking furious, to be completely honest with you, because the whole time I'm watching that trailer, I'm thinking that it's Armored Core 6, and they're announcing, they're already announcing
DLC or something like that.
They're already From Software is announcing DLC for that, and the whole time I'm sitting here wondering if I'm finally going to get information on my Elden Ring DLC, like a date or something like that. And I'm like, oh my god! But they're going to sit here and release fucking Armored Core stuff. And that game released 2 months ago, and we got DLC for that already. Get out of here. But no, it wasn't even Armored. They get to the title screen, I'm like, how did I go through a minute of a trailer thinking this was Armored Core the entire time?
I thought it was Armored Core as well, dude. I thought it was some kind of like.
It felt a little bit like it, yeah.
Right?
But when they started moving to how things were just skimming around, and like the bots were just skimming around, it really felt like Zone of Enders to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff.
Very cool.
Jeffrey.
Yep, my last one. Actually, there's a few here that I thought for sure each one of you guys would pick different ones, but my third one is No Rest for the Wicked. That's the Moon Studios' new one.
Yep.
They're the Ori devs. They haven't missed, so I'm looking. It looks cool. It's like a medieval isometric type fantasy something, and let them do what they do, I guess.
It's got a hell of a look, like a very painterly look.
Yeah,
but AI looking. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, like I mentioned in the Discord that it looked like AI generated or something like that. Like it's got that weird painterly quality to it. But then they animate it, like it's Flash. It's weird. It's an interesting look. It looks cool. But
yeah, it does, and like really good like design as well, like on the creatures and shit. Like
yeah,
I like the look. I'd like to know more about what this game is, though. Is it going to be just more of like a kind of like a easygoing hack and slasher in terms of like not really being very much to the combat? It's like more simple, because Ori is a simple game. It's just like especially
the first
Ori
one.
2.
Ori 2 is not.
It becomes more of a platformer than anything. I thought like
Will of the Wisps. That had like a pretty deep combat.
I love the combat. I know
everything.
Oh, that's right. It did have the tree. Okay, yeah. Disregard. Move along.
The first one was pretty basic in comparison.
That one was basic.
But who knows, right? I don't know. I know these guys had like, they kind of have a little bit of a bad reputation because they've said some snot. So, they've said some colorful things. We'll put it that way. And so, yeah, that's a nice way of putting it. So, kind of interested in that. That was the last one, but I'm assigning each of you one that I thought for sure would be Chewin's for each of you.
Okay.
For Jason, I thought for sure he was going to pick Rocket Racing. I thought for sure that would be on his thing. That's the Rocket League people with the racing game.
Okay, I got to ask a question about this, though. I was going to say,
wait,
is
that's
that
in Fortnite?
Yeah, it's in Fortnite.
Son of a bitch, I must have missed that. Oh, okay. Then I take that.
And I missed it at first, Jeff, too.
Yeah.
I missed it at first, too. And then they flashed something that was all Fortnite related. And like Fortnite Lego and like Rocket Racing was in there. I'm like, wait, is that a part of Fortnite? Like
it's a Fortnite minigame.
Okay. I think that's fucking cool. It looks awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Fortnite's free, right? To download.
Yeah, I guess you can always give it a shot. Yeah. I'm not sure if is all that stuff kind of free too in there. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
It seems like it. Yeah, Griffin and I downloaded Fortnite today because we're gonna try the Lego stuff and we'll try this racing stuff and all that stuff seems to be available.
We're gonna do some duos
from the get go. So
I'll hop on
with some duos. Yeah, there you go. Chris, I thought for sure you're gonna pick Visions of Mana. I thought that was gonna be a
I almost picked it.
Here's the deal. And here's the real reason. I completely respect the Mana series, and I know there's a huge following behind it. But for some reason, I have never been able to get into the Mana games. I've tried several times to get into Secret of Mana, and I want to play it like a Zelda game, and it doesn't play like a Zelda game.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know,
you got to play Evermore, man. Secret of Evermore is way better.
Secret of Evermore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I respect what it is, and I will continue to try the Mana series and be like, maybe this is the one, and we'll see what happens.
All right. I guess I was wrong. I thought you liked the Mana series, so you can strike that one too. Fuck, I'm over 2. I'm just like predicting the fucking awards here.
All right, what's mine?
I should never do this again. I'm pretty sure I don't know because I think. I am not a Kojima fan, but I thought Travis was a big Kojima fan. I thought he was going to have OD on here, especially with
Jordan Peele.
With Jordan Peele coming on stage.
Yeah,
Kojima and Peele.
That's an interesting combination, man.
No, that is not an interesting combination. That is a match made in heaven for me. I'm super hyped for this. I hope this is down.
The pair of goats.
I think it is very easy to assume that this is a horror game.
Yes, it's got to be.
It definitely sounds like it's going to be more of like a horror interactive Kojima experience than an actual game.
I got the gist of too. Yeah.
And it looks like very psychological. I'm interested to see what they do, but
I don't want to hate. Like if it ends up being something like Immortality, like I'm okay with that. Like that's okay because that game blew me away too, and that's something I probably on paper wouldn't have ever played. So I'm down for Kojima and Peele doing something like experimental. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. And I mean, Keeley fucking predictably let him sit up there for 15 minutes discussing it. So, but get off the stage, Larian.
Yeah.
But that's what we liked anyway. Those are some of the reveals.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
There was other stuff in there that looked really cool too. Like Den of Wolves. Den of Wolves got me, and
there's a lot of cool shit.
A lot of cool shit.
Dude, my prediction actually did come true, but the fucking Larian director didn't have time to say it. I said it would. They were going to shadow drop Baldur's Gate on Xbox, and it just showed up after the awards. And he tweeted today, he's like, I had one job and I totally forgot when I was up there.
Oh no!
That would have been a great moment too, and say, "Oh, by the way, thank you for the Game of the Year award." Also, Xbox player.
That's what he was supposed to say. Yeah,
that would have been an amazing moment. That would have been.
So everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
Maybe
Microsoft can't catch a fucking break, man. Like they can't.
I know, right? It's like because it was obviously planned. It was like,
I was going to say, but one of the questions we had was whether or not it's going to be on Game Pass, and I'm assuming it's not because you would have mentioned.
No, it's not on Game Pass. No.
Okay. Yeah, I actually ended up shutting it off shortly after the narrative award. I just had to call it, but so I missed that last bit.
Cool.
Good stuff. It was there was a lot of good previews and a lot of interesting spectacle.
Okay. How about a preview into next week? Chris, you're not going to be here. You'll be in Florida.
I will be in Florida.
When daddy's out the house, the kids get crazy. No?
Okay. Go for it.
Thanks, Dad.
But yeah, so that was anything else before we wrap this one up then?
No, I've embarrassed myself already, so we're going to end the show.
In fact, you could probably end it about 2 minutes ago. And then Travis like, just you know what? You know what? Edit that. Just kind of.
No, we ain't editing shit. Well, thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please tell a few friends about us. Like, subscribe, and comment. Those things very much help us out. Check out interactivedistractions.com. That'll lead you to our link tree. And you can also check out our Patreon. Jumping on the Patreon would help us very much. And come and join us on Discord and join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. So until next time, my name is Chris.
Oh, we had some Twitter feedback.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah, you know what? Let's give it another week because we only got a couple, and they're kind of like passive comments and like, yeah. Sorry, we will definitely get to them for sure next week because we can touch on some other things too. I'll retweet it out there.
Done. You want to try that again, Chris?
So until next week, my name is Chris.
Good job, Jeff.
I'm Jason. Oh God!
Oh, I'm Jeff.
Jesus Christ! In the show. Let's go.
Did Travis say it? I don't know. The word's falling apart.
Travis said, "Good job, Jeff."
Yeah, that's yeah.
All right,
we haven't been doing this for a long
let's go. All right, bye.
Yeah.
Player game.